So I got a birthday coming up. 61 years old. The 23rd of this month. Makes you every year, especially if you live long enough, you get reflective. You introspective a little, and you can't help but think back at all the things you've achieved and stuff like that. I haven't achieved much. I'm not down. I'm not depressed. I just wanted to share some of these feelings because I think a lot of people go through it. Uh, you know, you can tell I'm uncomfortable because it's honesty. Uh, Dreamers usually never do well. Uh, if a dreamer makes it, he's not a dreamer, or they're not a dreamer anymore. They're a success, and I've never been that. Uh, I learned to play guitar and figured out how to be a little better than average with that. Did it for years. I don't care if you're Eddie Van Halen, Nuno Betancourt, Steve Vai. Along with your talent, you have to be a little lucky. My talent isn't anywhere their level. I'm just saying that you had to be a little bit lucky along with your talent. Clearly, I wasn't, and clearly my talent level wasn't at a place where it set me apart. And I'm fine with that. Music to me is so much better for me now that I'm not trying to do it for any reasons. But with the comedy stuff, which is my career, which has been so good to me, I can't help but get a little down every now and then when I look at people I've worked with and they're on the Tonight Show, and you you work with them a couple of years ago and they're opening for you, or you're working with them and then you see their 50-date tour and you're like, wow, am I just not that good? It's these things you ask yourself when you get to a certain age. And the last time I did a video like this, excuse me, I had some friends of mine that I grew up with that I didn't even realize, gave a shit. And they were all like, don't blow your brains out. I'm not going to blow my brains out. And I appreciate those guys. I can't believe they even reached out to me and said that. But I don't even think that's a bad way to go sometimes. You get to a certain point. I'm at the point now where, if something happened to me and I like that, I would feel bad for my wife and my dog. But my wife would, she'd almost be better off with, I feel like I'm an anchor around her neck. She would never say that. And I'm not saying that as in, we have a good relationship, but, she married for love, and she, as I did, and I've pretty much been a failure at everything I've done in my entire life. Everything. The only thing I've ever been good at is taking care of animals and setting myself up for failure. But my wife is a success. I'm happy I met her, and I have a message I want to relay here, and I'm not sure how to verbalize it. I just think that giving up sometimes is a healthy thing. Sometimes you just have to say, I'm looking at my comedy bookings, and they're not great. I feel like I'm good at what I do, constantly improving, constantly writing. It doesn't matter. You get to a point where you just have to say, I have to believe in what I'm saying. I'm saying that comedy, music, all that's good for the soul bills, and it is. But when you get to that point of depression where you're just looking at every microcosm of what you do as failing, it's a tough thing to pull yourself out of. And I think there's a lot of people like me out there. I think there's a lot of people out there that, I'm not homeless. I'm not on any drugs. I'm sober. You would look at that and say, well, that's winning, and it is, and with a certain perspective, it is. But I didn't change the world with my guitar, and I'm clearly not reinventing the wheel with my stand-up. Um, but I think at this stage of the game, Hemingway may not have had it wrong. Uh, you just get to a point where it's like, well, why do I push forward with any of this? Uh, and the reason you do it is for others. I don't want to be any more of a burden or any more of any more cumbersome to the people that care about me. My son, my wife. I love my animals. I would never want to do anything but I can say right now before this birthday that I'm living for other people right now. I'm not living for myself anymore. Uh, it's a difficult thought to get across, but I think what I want to say is I think it's okay to hurt. I think it's okay to feel that depression sometimes. It's okay to look at yourself and go, I hate what I see. I hate how I feel. I don't feel like I'm contributing anything. Um, but I think we are. I know I am. It might not be much, but I think I want to say it's okay if you don't want to hang in there. It's okay. It's okay to be a failure. It's okay to fail at one thing to do something else better or okay. I said to my buddy one time that I tour with, I said, I had to fail at music to succeed at comedy. And not that I'm succeeding, but I can do it. I've been doing it 16 years as a job, as a career, if you want to call it that. And I think I've succeeded in learning how to write for myself, learning how to make any crowd laugh, being palatable for people that don't want to hear, a bunch of profanity and stuff. I feel like I'm a good person. But there's just a time in life where you just have to go, I shoulder this load in life for others now. I'm not doing it for me. Because clearly I'm not going to succeed at anything. I'm not going to succeed at anything that I feel like I worked for, if that makes any sense. Not succeeding at music. I'm in a good band. I can play guitar a little. I'm not succeeding at comedy. I have very few bookings so far this year. And bookings come up, you get them here and there. Gig Salad's been great to me. But if you were to take an overview of my life right now with my work, my state of mind, my fiduciary geography, it's not good. But I can live with that. My wife is a wonderful person, hardworking, optimistic. I mean, she has her moments too where she's not, but I don't even, not even really sure what the point of this video is other than it's okay to give up. I'm not saying hurt yourself. I'm not going to hurt myself. I'm saying that as a whole, as your whole life is say it's in one of those plastic bags you get from Target, it's okay to give up. It's okay to say, hey, didn't work out, and just try to live from there on. The last few days have been very difficult for me. I don't share it with people. My YouTube channel is great therapy. It's not taken off. Nobody's going, what's Doug doing today? He is silent. Nobody's doing that. The people that do, thank you for my subscribers. You are not. I don't take any of this for granted. Every single one of you that tunes in, I don't care if you leave a comment or not. You're very much wanted and needed. But it's okay to give up. Just remember, you don't always have to be optimistic. Oh, it's gonna go great. You don't have to be that way. You can find some solace. You can find some direction by just saying, hey, you know what? I made the wrong decisions. Uh, I didn't, you know, I didn't come through for the people that needed me to when I needed to. I'll try to come through for them now. I think now the most important thing for me is to, try to leave something behind whenever that day comes. Try to leave something behind for my people. Um, because once you're cremated and your ashes are spread, I don't want to take up any room. Once you're cremated and your ashes are gone or whatever, you fall in line with the other billions of souls that have been here on this planet since 4 billion years ago. There's been so many people that had meaningful and unmeaningful lives that made a difference, that didn't make a difference, that are absolutely never going to be known. Never, we just never know because there's just so many years. And you and I will be that too. Most of us, won't be remembered. And I'm okay with that. That would have been a hurtful thing to say a long time ago, but I'm okay with it now. And just remember, you can still be a good person and still be helpful, and still give up.